So the other day I was just kind of reflecting back on like some memories and different experiences I've had with my music and my musical journey, and I realized, holy crap, I've been making music for pretty much 10 years or a little bit over 10 years at this point, and I was like, wow. I First off, time has flown, and second off, I want to share with you guys 10 things that I learned in my 10 years. What's going on? It's Pim Fried Rice. Welcome to the Music into Millions podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about just 10 random little topics that, pretty much I've learned in my 10 years of experience being in the music industry. And I got my notepad here because otherwise I would not remember all 10. So don't mind me if I'm looking over at the paper. But pretty much before I get into it, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe on other podcast channels if that's where you're listening. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So tip number one I learned is focus on the fans, not on the followers. And we've actually done a whole podcast episode on this that I'll link in the description box below so you guys can check out. But yeah, focus on the people that matter. Don't focus on vanity metrics. I'm not going to go super deep into it. If you really want more information, check that video out. But that's number one. Number two is if a person doesn't like a song, it doesn't mean it's bad. Now, everybody has different music tastes in the world, and we kind of talked about this yesterday when we were talking about Friends. But don't be concerned if you show somebody a song and they're like, I don't like this, or this is trash. That's one person's opinion. You realize there's like almost 8 billion people on this planet. So there's bound to be thousands, if not millions, of people that like the style of song and the song that you created. So don't take one person's opinion as concrete fact. All right? The only person whose opinion you need to worry about is your own. If you like the song, it's a good song. That's tip number two. Tip number three is you can always re-record or remix a song. Now, back when I was younger, I was like, oh, whatever we set today, this is what it sounds like, and this is what we got to upload and go with, and everything was like rush, 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 and it showed in the music. One thing I learned just from being a fan of Kanye alone is you can mix a song like 37 times. I think the song Stronger had 37 different mixes on that song. And like some of the mixes, the differences were so minuscule, like maybe like tweak the snare or like tweak something, like you may not even have heard it, but Kanye was so meticulous with putting that down and getting those mixes solid that he did, like I said, 37 of them, which is insane. But don't get into the mindset of, you can't redo a song or re-record it or remix it. If something doesn't sound good or you don't like it, always go back to the drawing board. You can always re-upload it. Don't be concerned with that. Nothing is set in stone. Number four, don't second guess your gut. And now this one actually took me a while to figure out because especially being the type of artist that I am, or especially when I was a rapper back in the day, is I made very like left field music. Like whatever type of music I wanted to make is the type of music I was making. Like I had some EDM influenced songs. I had some songs that were like old Slim Shady style, where it's like real off the wall, saying some crazy things. Literally all different stuff. But I always fell into this mindset which kind of ties back to number two, where I was like, if people don't like the song, then I'm not going to create it. So I would ask like this person's opinion and this person's opinion and this person's opinion, like, yo, do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a good idea? And by the time I got actually working on the song, I was like, I don't want to work on this anymore because like this person said it was okay. This person loved it, but they didn't think it should be my song. This, all these other factors in there. It's like, now I don't want to even work on the song or create it. So just trust your gut. If something inspired you to create your song or create something, there's a reason for that. Trust that gut and just do it. Like I said, somebody out there is going to love it. Don't focus on other people's opinions. Trust your gut. So that is number four. Tip number five is just because someone's nice to you in the music industry does not mean they're your friend. And this is something that's so important to look out. It's not necessarily on the music side, but the business side. Just because somebody, is shaking your hand with a smile and they're showing interest in your music does not mean that they're not only thinking about themselves. And now don't get me wrong. There are plenty of people out there that actually are very genuine people and are very nice. But you have to really look at these people through rose-colored glasses and see, like, is this person what they're showing me on the face, or there's something going on beyond that, just because everybody in the world, not just in the music industry, is out for themselves ultimately. So just keep that in mind, and don't get discouraged if something happens where you're like, I thought this person was all for me, I thought this person was on my team. Just realize everybody has their best intentions in their head. And so just, you won't be hurt in those situations if that's something you keep in mind. Number 6, celebrities are people too. And now this is just a basic one, and I learned this from doing shows like I've opened up for Styles P before. I've opened up for I'm trying to even remember. Oh, PNB Rock. We did shows on the same stage as like Sublime with Rome. All different types of artists and people, and from being in these experiences and being in these different environments and even being backstage with some artists and stuff like that, I've started to realize these are people too. And when you start to idolize them and put them on a pedestal, you kind of lose that thought, and it's like you almost think they can do no wrong, and when they do, it like completely crushes you. And also, you think when you get to that status of celebrity, you're going to be on a pedestal. You have to realize that those are people, and even when you get to that position, which you will if you continue in your music career and you go hard every day, you're still going to be a person. You're still going to have bad days. You're still going to poop. You're still going to need to eat food. You're still going to need to sleep. You know, you still are a human just because you're a celebrity. So don't let it go to your head, and realize other people are people too. Don't treat them a certain way just because they have a particular status or money or fame or whatever. Number 7 is you don't need a team or a manager to catch a buzz. One thing I see a lot of new artists focusing on is like, bro, I know if I had a manager, I'd be booking hundreds of shows, and if I had a manager, I would be doing this and that. Half the time, these people don't need a manager. What they need is like a booking agent, or they need an entertainment lawyer. They need a whole bunch of other things, and they just think that if they have like one person on their team, everything will kind of fall into place. That is not true at all. A lot of times they say that you don't need a manager until you have something to manage. And so the artists that are just starting out, who are just putting their songs on like SoundCloud, maybe even streaming platforms, stuff like that, you don't need a manager. Focus on building the groundwork yourself. Learn how to do some of the things that your manager is going to do or your team is going to do, because then when you have those people in those positions, you'll know how to communicate properly with them. So like, you may need to talk to an entertainment lawyer about getting some contracts finalized, and if you don't know the type of, verbiage that he's using and the words, you're going to be so confused. So by having at least, I'm not saying go to law school, but by having at least a little knowledge on the topics or of this and that, you are more well-rounded, and it's easier to realize, one, when someone's good at their job, and two, just what they're talking about. So yeah, that's number 7. You don't need a team or a manager to catch a buzz. You just need to start laying the groundwork yourself, and when you're ready for those people to fill those positions, they will be there. Let's see, I lost my train. Number 8, lose your ego when you're in the studio with other creatives. And now I actually preach this one all the time to other people, because I feel like it's so important. Whenever you're in the studio, creating a song, working on anything, always think about the song is the end result, and that is the final product. So it doesn't matter who wrote the lyrics, who sang it, who produced it, who recorded it, engineered it. What you focus on is the song itself. So you need to put your ego at the door and just leave it there. So when you come into the studio, you focus on the song being the best thing possible. Because when too many artists and creative people get into a room, everybody's always like, oh, I have the best idea, I'm the smartest, this is my song, and everybody starts to get their ego, and what happens is the song ends up sounding like shit because it has a little bit of this person's influence, a little bit of this person, a little bit of that person, but nothing is cohesive. And when you lose your ego, you're able to, kind of just catch the vibe with everybody in the room and just create the best song possible. So check your ego at the door, and just remember, everybody is there to create something and make the best song possible. Number 9, practice every day. And it doesn't get more simple than that. Literally just practice every day. If you're working on getting better with your lyrics, freestyle every day. Or, go online, look up a rhyme dictionary, and see how many, 16 bars you can create or something like that. but you need to practice every single day. Whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 2 hours, it doesn't matter. But you need to at least do something every day that's going to get you closer to your goal. And the number 10 thing that I learned in 10 years of music experience is you're only going to go as far as you push yourself to go. And what I mean by that is, yes, other people may drive you or say, you can do it and everything like that, but they're never going to really push you or really lay into you the way that you can lay into yourself. Nobody knows what motivates you more than yourself. And nobody knows what drives you, what scares you, all these things that go on inside your head. So those people can't connect with you on the same level that you connect with yourself. And so this kind of ties into practicing every day. But you need to push yourself so hard that you almost, like I said in a previous episode this week, that you almost seem like a crazy person because all you can talk about and focus on and think about is getting better in your music career. So that is 10 tips from 10 years of musical experience. Make sure you guys drop your favorite tip in the comment below. Which one did you like? Was it number 1? Was it number 5? Was it number 8? Was it number 10? Number 4? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know any other tips that you guys may have learned in your music career. Other than that, have a great week, and I'll see you guys next week.